And now, Judge-Executive Tim Hutchins.
Yeah, Roth, I don't know if I'm hot or not. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear nothing in my speakers here.
Okay, we'll have to make an adjustment there.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. And Roth, how you doing today?
Well, beautiful day like this, doing fine.
Yeah, it is nice outside. And we want to say Joe Hill Pirate Sports, thank them again and for sponsoring this show. And the number here is 348-2222, 348-2222. And you can also text. If anybody's got any, did you have any previous texts before I got here?
No, sir. I wasn't told of any, and I'm looking back, and I don't see any. So, but we're ready now.
The one thing I'll say that because we're still kind of our infant stage. I think this is our fourth or fifth show. And I had at our last show, we had someone said that they shouldn't have to give their name, and I never really thought about it. And I had some other people say that we may have more interest, or people may call in if they don't have to give their names. So we instructed Ross, helper out here that takes the phone calls, that you do not have to give your name. So if you want to give it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. I may get more calls if you don't, because I may get more criticism and may get more complaints. So, and that's fine too. It don't bother me either way. So,
Judge, we began phase 2 of the pickup, the bulky item pickup on Monday of this week.
We did,
and certainly had great weather for the first 2 days. So.
I don't know if we actually officially started yesterday, but we had everything ready. We end up, that's one thing I'm going to talk about. The bridge is out on Highway 62, and I think we discussed that last week. And Hall Simpson Road is right in the middle of it, and 733, which is Bellwood Road, is what they instruct everybody to take for the detour and the big trucks. But we've had a lot of people use Hall Simpson Road, so we've got quite a few complaints and calls. And I was in Georgia Thursday. We went down and came back Friday on a business trip for the county. We was looking at some things, and then so we were scrambling around trying to accommodate the people, because I talked about this on the show last Tuesday. And anyway, we put some signs up, and the state helped us with the flashing signs, and we put some more detour signs up, and we actually put a speed bump coming from the Barstown side, so people better slow down or they're going to get knocked pretty good. And then we actually, yesterday, we planned this over the weekend, and we actually put, that road is fairly narrow. 2 cars can pass, but you have to get off of the shoulders a little bit, and then it's as wet as it has been. It was pretty muddy and nasty, and so we got the shoulders placed yesterday, and that really helped. I just left there 10 minutes ago. I went down and checked it out. They did a really good job. Now we have to, for the neighbors to know, we do have to come back and clean up and get some dirt off the shoulders, past the rock shoulders. We'll do that over time, get it cleaned up and sow it in grass. If we do any disturbance, we'll make sure we fix it. But with these rock shoulders on each side, about 1.5 feet, probably 18 inches or so, that'll be a lot better for the people that live there. So I just want to let them know that. We hate that we have to do it, but it's replacing the bridge, and it's just part of progress, But I think this will be a lot better for the citizens.
Now that's a state bridge, and the state were the ones that mandated the replacement of it.
State bridge on the 62, yes, and they did another one on 62, and they're basically going around and the ones that are in the most need, for the safety of the people. So have to do it. I'd hate to see a bridge collapse, so we're working on some county bridges also. Excuse me. But we've got a lot of, this bulky item pickup, and it's, you can tell it's picked up as you drive around. You'll see more people that's been outside working and getting it done. And And I had a call yesterday. A lady said I had 2 big TVs, big ones, and somebody put them out on the road. And I said, we'll get them picked up. So the problem we have with this bulky item pickup is, and it's been like this for years, and there's really not a whole lot you can try to monitor it, but you have other counties and people coming in on the edges and borderlines and taking advantage of us, especially at some of these intersections and these little side roads where you've got a pretty good spot where you can unload a bunch of stuff in the certain areas of the county, and that's kind of a problem. But we clean it up. We always go back and clean it up and put some signs up. And if we see people doing it now, we try to go after them. I mean, I put one out. I'll just say it here on Sullivan Lane off of 509. People dump there a lot. I just put a new big sign up there last week, and I've actually got cameras up. So people need to be aware that you don't need to be dumping your property on somebody else's property and making a mess and on the county right-of-ways, and because we have to go back and clean it up and it costs taxpayers. And so we're going to be, pretty forceful, a lot more forceful on that this year than we have in the past. And but it's when you're doing this kind of stuff, you're going to have issues. We've had a pretty good run with our crews and our equipment. It's been in pretty good shape, and everything's running pretty smooth, actually. Hopefully we don't get another snow or ice, and you can always get some of that. It won't last as long, but the reason why it makes it so difficult, you got to take your tailgates and off your trucks, and putting tailgates back on your trucks and plows and so on, and it makes it a lot more tougher on the crews. Have to do all that extra work. So maybe we won't get any more. It's been a kind of a nasty winter.
Yeah. Is there an estimate on what amount of money it costs to do the roadside?
We've got it in the budget. I think, what we appropriate, we pay back budgetary-wise to the county road department, and then pay the landfill, trying to separate that as much as we can, bookwork-wise, paperwork. But give you a true number, I brought my little book over there if you want to look at that, but I don't know exactly, but I can tell you next time what it is. It's, let's say we do most of it in-house. Actually, we use the inmates, started last year, and then this year. Let's see, they've been going in our third year, I guess, and we've got that down pat pretty good. That saves us a lot of time and helps our crews out. Previously, we have had to contract out some help, maybe rent some trucks, and we use the roll-off truck at the landfill for the bulky item at the road department. I think he's using one. I don't know if he's tried to use 2 or not, but I know he's using one, and we've had to hire some part-time help in the past. We haven't had to do that, so, it's the inmate program saves us some money there, too, so. I mean, it's several thousand. I would say close to $50,000 a year, but I don't know if it's that much or not. I'd have to go back and look. It was a little bit soft in our first round, but we noticed we have to get with the magistrates. I would say next year we might rotate that schedule a little bit because people can't get stuff out as early, because of the weather. So historically, they've kind of rotated the times. Of course, the problem with that is people get used to it. If you keep it on a consistent time, everybody knows when it is. So we'll just have to evaluate it and see what the magistrates want to do on that. But it's a great program. There's no doubt about that.
Haven't seen any ladders up at the visitor center lately. How are we on the process of repair on the
roof? On the courthouse. They've worked. I haven't talked to the contractor since they left. Was it last week we were talking about it? Maybe. We really haven't had any rain. We had. I don't want to be begging for a lot of rain because we had a lot of it. But until we get one, you can fix and repair and But until you get some pretty good rains and wind blowing, see which way it comes in. But I'm sure there'll be another spot or two. And they spent a lot of time on it last week or several days up there. And I know that one office back there with the codes, that side, we didn't see any water. And we didn't see any coming down the steps. There was some in the, I guess as you go up on the left side, there was a little bit coming in. So I think we're getting most of them fixed. It's continuous, you got an old building and you're just going to have problems.
Any updates on HVAC for that facility?
It's a work in progress. I've got some good numbers back on with some contractors and some negotiating some things, and I actually had it on the agenda last week, but I had one magistrate out of town, and then I need to sit in with them and go over our budget, and I feel pretty good about it. We can go ahead and get it done, and hopefully I can get that worked out this week and make sure our financials are in pretty good shape, because it's going to take a lot of money, and hopefully by next week I'll have a final number and get that moving forward. Or if we can delay it, I don't want to delay it because it's just kicking the can down the road, and it takes a lot of money to do that project, and we'll see how it comes in. I'm doing some more inspections this week, and I've had some more people in the attic yesterday, matter of fact, and trying to determine if there's any other ways we can save any money. So it's hopefully within a week I'll have this thing finalized. And
I know that I believe I've heard the report of the progress that's being made on the new county attorney's office and driver's license.
Yeah, the Commonwealth Attorney. Commonwealth Attorney. We're probably, I don't know, I'd say 50% done. Maybe more, actually. They're moving pretty good in the driver's license building. And I'll probably go out there myself. I haven't been out there for a while, but they're really moving on that. Like I say, we're renting a space for the Commonwealth Attorney, which they're paying for, and they're pretty crowded there. So I think the driver's license, and it's just going to be a good thing for the community. And they're moving, like you said. I think last week we talked about this. There's some movement about expanding them statewide, and we're just fortunate we've got one located here now. The driver's testing now, you got to have the state police involved in that. That's another piece of this driver's doing the test for these when you get your driver's license. And we hope we get that piece after we get this all completed. We got to make sure we got enough space of parking and so on. So it'd be a good thing for the county. There's no doubt about it. And that's just another piece of the puzzle we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. I know that our partner, Bob Manning, has been frustrated with getting his driver's license renewed in Jefferson County, where the wait is hours, and they'll even give you a time at all. But he's been very... And,
I think
he's been threatening to come here or two.
Well, you come, there's places here. I don't have to have those things on unless somebody calls. I don't guess, do I?
No.
I think it sounds a bit better. I was talking to an individual the other day. He had to go somewhere and wait, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 hours, and then you can go here, and it's better to call, and I don't have the number with me, but you can call and get an appointment, and makes it a whole lot faster getting in. If you just walk, you can walk in, but it's like anything else, you want to probably wait a little bit longer, but you don't have to drive halfway around the E-Town, all these other places with it being here. So it's a good thing for the community. And since you said that, I think my license is getting pretty close. I have had a bad habit of letting things kind of run out. So I need to check mine.
I have too. I tried to rent a car one time, and and in kind of an emergency situation, and they don't like to rent cars to people that have an expired driver's license. Actually,
No,
they won't.
No, you can't. You can't do that. I had to. Yeah, it's. We rented a car one time out west, and I just happened to get just real quick story here, and we was on a little trip, and dang on, it wasn't me, but it was my fault because I was speeding, and you get out there and it was on that long road, nobody's down. I said,
Well, yeah.
I guess you just kind of speeding. And anyway, I got a guy pulled me over and said, a real nice guy, and he said, you know how fast she's going? I said, not really, whatever. And he showed me your paperwork. Your tags are expired. I said, what do you mean expired? On a rental car. I said, it ain't my fault. He said, well, you're driving it. So that was a learning experience. It could have got ugly, but we got it worked out. But, it was, like I say, it just ran out, Anyway, we encourage anybody who want to call and text 348-2222. And again, Joe Hill's Power Sports, they've sponsoring this show, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably have a guest on here next week.
Okay.
I've got a couple people I've inquired, and I figured after we get these first 4 or 5 weeks down, and because I had one on here last time on the EMA side, and then I'll bring in some staff members from time to time, let people know, EMS and probably the fire and engineers and actually other groups, probably some private groups coming in, let them know what's going on in the community. And
We've got a caller, but I've got a text or two. Let's take the text real quick. It says, I'm just wondering why the county doesn't do anything about some of the houses that are in Melody Lake that have junk and trash everywhere in their yards. We pay taxes too, and the county does nothing to help with issues in the Melody Lake area, which is a area that has, I guess, does it have a homeowners association?
I went out and visited when I was campaigning. Actually, I had a call some people and met with several people out there, and there was a pretty good crowd about some issues at Melody Lake. And that is a private community. It's a private road. Now, there is some, I guess, laws or regulations or policies that we got to be careful with out there. I think, and whoever this caller is, if they could call the office, 348-1800, 348-1800, and so I can talk to you personally about this situation. I've said this before here, is we have restructured our code enforcement, and I've got 2 officers that's working part-time to help me restructure that, and Vanessa, she's our manager there with the inspections and so on. And they've really, it's been a trying time. We went through some different people and had some health issues, and we've got that thing really, really down pat. We got them all in the computer, and we've had a lot more than anybody knows because they won't see it every day. We don't really publish it, but I think they said the other day we had 43 nuisances that we have completed. Then we got several in the system. Then we got several in the court system. But if they call me, I will check on that. I'll report on Melody Lake and see where we're at on that. But I know there's a couple out there. I think it's close to it. But I don't want to make sure I'm talking out of school here in the development itself. And I will definitely look into that for whoever's calling here.
Time for you to put the headphones back on, Judge. We have a caller on the phone, and you can ask the caller if they want to identify themselves. It's up to them. Go ahead. You
Go
hear
ahead.
okay?
I cannot hear. No, I don't hear nothing. I'm dead.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
No, I got you right there. Well, I did have you. Got it short or something. I think you want to spend a little money on this equipment.
It maybe needs to go in the other.
What do you want me to do? Put it in the other one?
Yes, sir, please.
There we go. I thought I had a little short or something.
Now, are you good?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, hand it here and I'll take care of it.
Let me put it back in here.
Technical difficulties, but
Yeah. I don't hear nothing.
okay. Well, hand it here, Judge, and I'll make sure you do. I've got another. You have a
spot.
and I always have a second option. This is what you call doing it on the fly.
Yeah,
You should be hearing us now.
I'm hot there, yes.
A little loud.
It's a little bit loud, I
Okay.
think. I don't know how it sounds on the other
Caller,
end,
are you
but,
still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank
Yeah,
you
sorry
for
about that.
putting up with us.
No problem. Hey, thank you for taking my call. Hey, technology is all.
Turn it back up a little bit. Hang on a minute there, sir. Turn it up just a little bit, Rob.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
That's too much, but
Too much?
see if you can get in between there.
All
There you
right.
go.
Let's see. Is
Okay.
that better?
I can hear. Can you hear, sir?
Yes, absolutely, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I appreciate y'all taking the call. Technology can always be a challenge. It's great, but it's always a challenge, so I appreciate that. Hey, a couple of things. One, my wife and I think it's Columbus Day. We went to the driver's licensing office there in Barstown, got our IDs. We were in and out in 45 minutes, and I just thank you and the representatives was Kathy Massaroni and Jimmy Higgins was part in that as a real service to the community. Keeps from having to drive all over the state to update our licensings and things. So I want to thank everybody for that. I also.
And what Diane Thompson, the circuit clerk, had a big hand in that too. And I was still beeping in and out there, but I think I'm clear now. You talking about your driver's license? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that was good. I appreciate the comment.
Well, thank y'all so much. Working people, they don't have time to run all over the place to do that thing. And I'm retired, but my wife's still working, so it worked good for us. I appreciate that. And then the other, I called in last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, about planning and zoning resting of events on J.R. Ballerine, and you said you may ride back there and check that little road out. And
I didn't ride back. I drove by there, and I was going to, kind of funny, really. It was not funny, but I was going to a funeral home in Loretta. And I was going by and stop back, but it got dark on me. So when I leave here, I'm gonna ride by there. Matter of fact, just check it out. I haven't seen yet any kind of application or anything back. So I don't know if they've got an application at the Planning and Zoning Office now, because I think you said they tabled it twice.
yeah.
So I don't have an update on it personally.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You have a good day.
All righty. Our phone line, 502-348-2222. Second text came in. Says, is there a dog barking? And they may have left off the word ordinance. Says, and dogs keeping dogs on your property. And I guess it's back to if dogs are barking, is that a nuisance that is regulated?
There is a, I don't know if it especially says dog ordinance, but there is an ordinance about dogs are supposed to stay on your property, and there is a leash law, and you're supposed to have your dogs either on a leash or on your property. This is a pretty big issue since I've been elected. I mean, it's widespread, and it don't take but a few, and people get upset about their pets. And matter of fact, I had a big one last week. So there's limits on what you can do. I think Todd Bartley's our dog animal control officer and his staff, and I think they do an excellent job. We've had to clean up some of it. We've already rewrote it, but I haven't presented it to the court exactly completely yet, because it's a tough one to write, really. How far do you go? The barking side, it goes under the nuisance ordinance with the noise. There is one on the books, but it's another one it's tough, so we're looking into cleaning up the language, rewriting it, and trying to be fair to everybody. You got the vicious dogs, and it's your dog we think might be vicious because he looks mean, but you just can't go out and tell somebody it's a vicious dog. And when you're kids and they raise the pets and it's their pet, and so it's a problem. It's actually a big problem. I said before, I told somebody this morning, probably the number one problem I've had in the county since I've been elected are complaints, issues with dogs. And so we're going to try to rewrite that ordinance and update it, clean it up, and try to be fair to both sides. We've had I don't want anybody's dogs attacking somebody and, harming them and have a child or somebody out there and get hurt or, get killed, actually. So there's state laws you got to follow also, but there is some out there, and now we're clean. We're going to rewrite that ordinance and try to get it probably a little bit tougher, to be honest about.
Well, from the noise standpoint, this like a lot of things are, it's a judgment. Who thinks it's a nuisance and who doesn't. Obviously, somebody it's not their dog probably is more apt to think it's a noise nuisance. Now, the dangers and dog issue is certainly one that is serious.
Well, the noise side, you got to have the decimeter and got to place it and try to prove it, and then you get in a court of law, and then you got to file a charge, and then you got to go through the system, which takes a lot of time. And some people think we're not attempting anything, just like this gentleman or somebody said about the nuisance and the trash and things. Well, our crews are doing a lot behind the scenes every day. You don't see us probably post it or show it or what have you, but the subdivision settings, you have private restrictions, which in some cases they can enforce them and what have you. You live in Maywood, and I don't know what their ordinances are, but there is. If I live beside somebody's house and the dog's barking all the time, I wouldn't like it either. Right. So trying to be courteous and respectful to your neighbors, I think is I hate to see the government have to come in, step in, and tell everybody what to do, and I don't, you don't want that. Hopefully, people have enough respect for their friends and neighbors and to take care of their problem themselves. I was camping one time with my horse ride with some guys, women, and we had a pretty good campsite. I forget where we were at, and somebody had a dog, and that dog never did shut up. It sat out there, and you out there by the campfire, and might be drinking a soda or something and enjoying yourself, and the dog bark. I mean, it's nothing anymore worse than that. So I get it and I understand it. So, but that's I'll probably talk about that a little bit in here on the next several shows. Matter of fact, we've talked about it last week, and we've got more language to instill in it. But we got to make sure it's fair with everybody, and it doesn't do any good to write any kind of ordinance if you can't enforce it. You just spinning your wheels. So we got to be real careful. And then you got to have the proof. What you say, I say. That's the one that happened last week. Actually, this case, this gentleman had bite marks, and you tell something bit him. Mm-hmm. But what bit him? He said it was his dog, and I'm sure it was. I don't think he's lying, but you got to prove it. Yeah. You get in the court of law, you heard that old saying, you know it, I know it, but you got to prove it. So it's not real easy. And then you get the county attorneys involved and the judges, and hell, even the jury in some cases. You got to prove it. So that's just so it's not easy. It's not near as easy as everybody thinks it is. So, but we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna try to tighten it up a little bit better and be fair about it and get some language clear up.
Let's see. Okay. As we Before we went on the air, we kind of mentioned this. We do have a text that says, can you talk about what's going on with the Nelson County Sheriff's Department?
Well, I don't know why, Roth, this thing's roaring a little bit on me, but I put it, that's all right, just leave it right there. Just don't move.
Don't move, okay.
Well, you know, I'll make a brief comment on that. I wrote a news release last week because I had tons of phone calls, and the sheriff's department, you know, he's a highly elected official just like I am, and you know, he runs the sheriff's department, and we don't have a day, you know, we don't have to control their day-to-day operations. It's not a fiscal court or county judge's responsibility. By statute, we just let people know, not really talking about the case here, I'm just letting people know we do approve their budget. Let's go through the fiscal court. In this county, we do have part of the budget that's separate from the sheriff's budget, but we have when we do our county budget, there's 17, maybe 18 now, what we call patrol officers that when Judge Watson and I was on the court years ago, and we had what we call the county police, and then you had the city police, then you had the sheriff's department. And it was proposed, and we did it, we merged the county police with the sheriff's department. So those officers come directly, their pay scale and the salaries come under the fiscal court. But that's all. You know, they work for the sheriff, the day-to-day operations, policies, and procedures. So that's nothing to do with this case. You know, I mean, I put out a press release that basically I hope when the system gets done here that basically we'll find out the truth, and that's really all I can say. And when you get attorneys and everybody involved, but it's the fiscal court is not involved in it, and the county judge is not involved in the case.
Our number is 502-348-2222, and you can text that number. You can call it also, and we'll have a call screener, so to speak. Ryan, take your call and see if you want to be on the air with us.
And you don't have to give your name.
You don't have to give your name. 348-2222.
If you want to give your name, you can give your name. So, see how many texts I got coming in on my side. The one thing is what's going on in the community. You know, our park is getting low to soccer. I know of course, you know, you got high school baseball, softball, all that's gearing up, and then we've got the baseball complex at the park and the soccer and all that's gearing up. So we've got I don't know what the deadline's on these sign-ups, but that's a lot of activity out there coming up, starting, and all the practice and everything. And the reason I bring that up briefly is we've got a nice park. I've heard people over the years, and I've traveled and coached and all this stuff, and still do, with kids and grandkids, and how come y'all can't do this? And they send me pictures of the Indianapolis Park and Bowling Green Park and E-Town Park, and it's good. I want to see all that. But then when you travel and see, I think probably, I'm going to say our park is probably, you know, there's 120 counties in the state. I don't know how many parks you would have, recreational parks, but I would say we're in the top 10, 15, or 20, and it's one of the nicest parks out there. Now, can you get to that next level? It takes a lot of money. So we're looking and designing, and I've got our county engineers on the baseball side. I've said that before. We're running out of room. We had 19, I think last year. Now we have found out there was 21 T-ball teams using one T-ball field. So think about that for a minute. And run out of room, softball. We've done a lot out there over the years and added lights and got some fields, and then we're trying to expand. I think it's 6 fields and more parking. Parking's a big problem. You hate to buy a high dollar land and put a parking lot on it. You know, but you got to have it. So So that's one of the things we're looking to do, and moving forward with that, hopefully we'll have something. Don't know what the cost is going to be until we get you got to start somewhere, and you've got to actually spend some money on design and things so you can figure out and see what the cost is going to be once you anticipate what you want. There's all kinds of things you can do out there. It's really unlimited. It just takes a lot of money. Indoor sports, and you've got all the fields, and you can do turf. There's just so many things. But we know that's probably the biggest need right now is the baseball, softball side, t-ball, and hopefully we'll have that fairly well designed here pretty quick, and so we'll have some numbers we can present, talk about, and get the public involved, and because there's been a lot of activity. You ever drive out there? I don't know if you ever drive through there or not. My goodness, you've seen so many people and kids running around, and we got the walking trail out there, and it's highly used. That's one of the best things in the community, I think, is that park, and not just for kids but adults. And if anybody sees anything out there that needs, I had a call yesterday about it. There was I think a flagpole, and there's some other things around it, and we've been doing some work out there and cleaning up. So we've got some more. There's always stuff to do after the hard winter we've had. So we'll be doing some more work out there too. But that'd be really, really fired up here. I don't know if they started games. I see we're in March. They maybe even started some games. I don't know.
Judge, this is a general question here that, as you talked about parks and some other things, but a few years ago, the city of Bardstown's leadership at that time decided to separate the parks department.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe also in that same time frame, the fire department is also.
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting back on that, do you think it's worked out as good as it could or should?
I don't know. I've got mixed feelings. I would say no, really. I think you should have stayed together. I think anytime you got more unification and resources and administration, and I think it's better to have a force that's working together instead of against each other. I know that. I wasn't in office at the time when they did that. You got I talk to people about, especially on the fire side, and was a good bad in between, because you got the city taxpayers paying for theirs and the fees paying for the county side, and I think they have a good relationship, and the city supports the county supports the city, and the county's got what, four fire departments out in the county, I think, and they're mutual aid with all the other areas. I think it's working good. But looking back, I wasn't there the whole reason why they did a bunch of stuff, but they did it. Going to the recreation side, we had a joint board. I actually helped develop the board when I was a magistrate, and the judge and the court and the city council. We worked it all out, and I think it worked out really good for years. But for whatever reason, I don't know whether it's politics or money or what happened. But today, right now, I think I know I've got a good relationship with the mayor of New Haven, Linda Mattingly, and then Chris at the Bloomfield, and Mayor Heaton. I feel like I got a good relationship with all of them. And the New Haven and Bloomfield and Bardstown, they all got their parks. Bardstown's kind of running out of the park side of it. They use Dean Watts Park. They got one baseball complex, but you still got the gym and the recreation side, and then the old Kentucky homeschool. And so it's, all the school systems. You got the football that's moved into school systems, and you got the little, what I call the peanut leagues. But I guess, overall, I think it's working pretty good. I think everybody's getting along, and that I can see, there was a little bit, when I first got in, I think there was a little bit of disagreement over a few things, but you're going to have that. But I think overall it's good for the community, and if we could sit down and have a board that's combined with everybody out, and, I don't say it would hurt anything, but I think it's working pretty good now.
It was just one of those things, the unknown. You didn't know how it would work out when you split them apart. Now, as you said, there probably were a lot of things that we didn't see or hear that,
Right.
people had to make some concessions. And let's see here. That's a happy birthday greeting.
We don't do birthdays here, do we?
Let's see. Thanks for having the show. Like to ask the judge if any way possible have the huge potholes on Greenfield Avenue Lane at Burton Stumps Court apparently repaired.
I don't know. This thing keeps beeping and you don't hear the static when you're in?
No.
Mine's squeaking real loud, back and forth, but I quit moving. I just drove by there again. I did that one. I think. What did it say? Greenfield.
Greenfield Avenue Lane at Burton Stumps Court.
The one of the streets going in there is county. The other one is private. And I think the one, and that's the reason I was out there earlier because I had some people and I've checked it out. There's a private road that goes in there, and that's the one that's closer to the Bardstown side, and it's got a lot of potholes. Now,
is that Stumps? Is it the trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going into the first section, and it meets in, as you come around, it meets, there's county road, but that road is a private road, and the county cannot spend any money on a private road. And I have my county engineer, we've talked about this. One of the family members out there, I think, did pass away, and but I will check on it and research it and see if we can help try to get something done there. School buses go back there on the private road. I've had some calls about the city school bus, and it's pretty rough. Actually, it's real rough. I don't know what kind of stipulations they have back there, the people on the private side that, with the trailer parks, and what kind of agreements they have with the owners. I don't know because it's all private. But I know it is, it needs a lot of attention, and I don't know anything about the owners as far as how their program works back there and their contracts and so on. But I do know it's rough. If that's the one I'm thinking about, I think that's the one that they're referring to.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Let's see if we have any more messages coming in. No. Our phone number for call-ins, 502-348-2222. You can also text in on that number as well. And we've got about...
Give me that, Roth. Pull that out. I'm going to put it back over here. This thing keeps roaring and roaring and roaring. I don't know if it's...
I'm going to get you a...
I think it's in your wires, what I think. I had trouble before.
Phone lines are open right now, 348-2222, and
you need to push a button. I'm not getting nothing over here.
Okay.
You have to push a button?
No. I've got volume controls, and that's about it. But we can make it where you can hear it on the speakers if we get a call in. I can do that.
Yeah, I got it.
You won't have to wear the headphones.
I'm good there. I don't know. I think it's a short in at the end or something. I don't know, but that's just something you can check out. But
we have a phone call coming in. Let's see if
right
our screener is able to get it. And again, if need be, I can get it up on the speaker so you can hear the caller through the speakers. When's our next fiscal court meeting? And
next Tuesday at next Tuesday at 6 p.m.
It's the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have our agendas. When I first got elected, we've talked about the long meetings, and which was good, and got a lot of information out to the public. And It took some time to get them whittled down and all the different departments, and now we've got those reports I'm done every month, and you get those too, don't you?
Yes.
Those big, it's very detailed. Now, I know everybody's not gonna sit down and, well, some people may, but I hope they read it and they go online and listen to your show, and they can, we've got every department in the county, and it gives me a report, and we send it out and put it on the website and everything, and let everybody know what's going on in the community. And so we really, then our Facebook, our Fiscal Court Live, and then, of course, PLG does their thing, you do your thing, and then the radio show. So, we're trying to get as much information out there as possible. I just don't see where anybody can miss out on anything.
Do you have anything in your headphones now?
I'm clear.
You're clear. All right.
Good.
We're going to the telephone lines. Go ahead. You're on the air. Hello, are you there? Let's try that.
Hello?
Works better. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
It's a little clearer. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes. My daughter built a house, and she got a new driveway, and when she pulls out, some of the limbs on the side of the road there from trees hanging off. Can a road department help me? If it is it down there by Stephen Foster Road Department, or is it out there on 245? I'd like to get like a big bush hog guy on a tractor or something. Maybe.
What road? Where's it at? Which road is it?
Is that right down from the fairgrounds on New Haven Road?
On New Haven Road?
Yes, I know y'all got two road departments, like down there on Stephen Foster.
Well, ours down there by the jail, that's the county road department. And then the one at on 245 is the state road department.
Okay.
And if it's on New Haven Road, and you're talking about on the main road there, that's state road department.
State road department. Okay.
But we can help. You just tell me the address, and I'll get them we'll work with you to help you get it done. You know about where it's at?
Yeah, 2700 New Haven Road.
2700. Yeah, this is that's trees and springs coming and growing, and then leaves come out. Yeah, we try to stay on top of this, and we work well with the state road department too. And
okay, well, good.
The boom mower, what you're talking about, if they've got, I don't know, I'd have to look at this one, but I'll get somebody to look at it and
all right, that sounds.
Need to trim it back, or whatever. Okay.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you so much, because it's hard to pour out there because limbs hanging off.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I haven't been on 245 recently, of course, back with earlier winter issues, ice and snow, road trees that fall off. They got those cleared off the.
You're talking about down toward the Bernheim,
yeah.
County side. They cleaned a lot of them up. I was through there Sunday, and there's some more to do. I think it's mostly in the Bullitt County side, looks to me like. They've got a lot of them cleaned up on closer to the road, but I don't like the right-of-ways all growing up, but they've allowed that over the years, and then they fall in the ditch lines and the water, but they have cleaned up a lot of it. It's a lot better than it was.
We've had a couple of calls, and one of the issues are things are on private property or they're not on county maintained property, whether it's the road potholes or tree limbs. That's where the cooperation between county and city and county and state governments probably is the most important thing, is trying to figure out and help almost mutual aid, which is typically thought of as in the world of fires and so forth.
Well, we've got a good relationship, and I've tried to build a stronger one with everybody, and I think it's been pretty good since since I've been here. I'm going in my third year, and there's a limit on what you can do. When it comes to the disaster or emergencies, we can basically help each other out in those situations pretty freely. We can't. I'll just tell you, Hall Simpson Road, we put the shoulders on. And I talked to the chief engineer out of E-Town and district on the road, and basically the statute says they cannot provide any rock to us on the county road. It's not their fault that the bridge is going down, but they're replacing the bridge. It's a state road. And so I kind of begged and pleaded, help us. But we've got money in our budget to do maintenance, and I just felt like for the citizens there, it wasn't right. So we just went on and shouldered them. I couldn't get any money out of the state. Now they was going to offer us some millings or whatever they hadn't. That wouldn't cost to them, but there's a limit what you can do. We got to be real careful. And am I clear? All right, I'm good.
All right. We're going back to the telephone. We've got a caller on the line. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Carmel Keith. I live at Culvertown, and at Thornsbury Lane and Thornsbury Loop, the ditch in front of the house is washing out from underneath the road. And I was wondering if I'd get somebody to take a look at it.
Yeah, you're going past Culvertown there on the Thornsbury Lane or Thornsbury Loop. Is that tied together?
Yes, it's right off 31E, right across from the church.
Yep, right there on the right.
Yes.
Yep. So the pipe, you talking about the main pipe under the road or a pipe going in your driveway?
The pipe that goes under the road, Thornsbury Lane, is washing out, and it's washing on Thornsbury Loop. It's starting to wash off to where it's washing out from underneath the blacktop.
Okay.
And I'm afraid we know what potentially can happen next.
Yeah, we'll look at it. They may already have it on the radar. I don't know, because our guys, Brad and his crew, is pretty good about identifying these things, but it's good that you call in because we can't see them all, or we don't see them all every day. So, yeah, we'll take a look at it, and we'll definitely get it fixed. We'll have to see what time frame. You think it'll hold up for another 4 or 5 weeks?
I hope.
Well, we got this bulky items, you know what I'm saying? We try to get that. We've got one crew going around doing maintenance, as some maintenance, but then try and get this bulky item behind us, and that way we can really gear up, But, yeah, I'll look at it, definitely. Thanks for calling, and any time.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That rain, we had that freezing thawing through the winter. It's funny because I just noticed I built me a new patio the last couple of years and put some flagstones and things down, and so I was walking when the sun came out Sunday. I was kind of nosed around, and I noticed a couple of them were freezing thawing, where they're raised up in about a half inch or so. So you have that happen, and then you get the ice, and then it fills in these cracks, and then water, and it freezes and expands, and then you get all these heavy rains that we had, and washing them out, and then it ruts out, and that's just part of the maintenance. I've got one I looked at last night when I left. Actually, it got dark on me when I left the courthouse. It was when I looked at a few myself, and it's one that really, really washed out bad, and. But, that's part of maintenance. That's what we got to do. I am going to bring up one thing a guy called, or called it, I shouldn't chuckle because it's not really funny, but he asked me about, he called my cell phone. I'm trying to figure out why he called me the other day. I went back and looked at my notes, but he's not the only one that's asked about this. I know they've asked the city and they've asked the county. The big pothole going in to Kroger's, where Lee's, famous recipe.
Okay.
There's a big pothole there, and it's rutted out. There's 2 or 3, and then when it rains, it's full of water, and, this one's rough. The city can't do it. County can't do it because it's a private road. That road that actually leads into where Kroger is, I don't know who owns that development, but we're looking into that. I'm trying to research it. Matter of fact, I don't know. I need to talk to the mayor and see if they've talked to anybody, but you would think as much traffic is in and out of there that private developer, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but that thing needs to be fixed. So I'm just letting people know, because it is not a county road, it is not a city road, it's a private road, and so we're looking into. I'm not blaming Lee's either. He's leasing, or he owns that building. That's a lot, but it's not part of that road. So. But anyway, I'm looking into that. We're going to try to help coordinate and get it fixed. So that's I've heard that several times. I got a call about it yesterday or whatever day it was. trying to help them get that fixed. He said it about broke my axle. I went through there. He said, it about broke my axle. I said, all right.
Well, and that's the question. Private road, you wouldn't have. You could have civil litigation if you did have damage to your vehicle. What about if it occurs on a county, state, or federal road? Do you have?
I try not to answer the phone when that happens.
Okay.
But I did have one. I don't know. I guess it's probably. I'd say kind of the gray area. If you look at the statute and you look at what the county can do or the state, really, if you drive down the I-65 going to Louisville off of 245 right now, I mean, it's pretty damn rough.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was going to get knocked out of my seat the other day. I don't really know when it comes to that. I think you can turn in a bill and send it into the state or the county, and they would probably have to evaluate it, each case by case. So I mean, and I get it. It takes a lot of money. It's not like you can just go out there. We've spent budgetary wise the first 2 years I've got in, because we was fortunate enough to get some extra state money. I think we got $800,000 the first year, and then we use some ARPA money on top of that, plus the county money that's appropriated through the state in the gas tax, and we've got about. I think Brad gave me there's probably 10 more county roads that we've already had in our budget from last year that didn't get done, that will be done, early summer. I've just got two. I didn't want to announce it yet. I've got two roads that Candy Mastroeni and Senator Higdon has got authorized this year that we turned in, that we've already got approved for, and I'm going to make sure it's official before I make an announcement on it. And then we've got our regular county roads that that we do. So, but man, it takes a lot, and it's blacktop and everything over the years. It's just like everything else. Things went up in rock, and but this freezing thaw in the state of Kentucky's in a bad spot. It's just the way it is. When you get if he's up north where it stay froze, or down south, so you didn't get much. But all that water, and it's not good on the roads. The drainage and the shoulders and. I know some people get upset. We go through with grader and try to clip these shoulders off where they silt in, and the water can't get off the road. Well, that's what tears the roads up. Number one cause is the water, and just saturate and get under the road beds, and that's what you've got ditches. And then the ditches get filled up, and some people don't like it when you got to come in and clean them out. And I get it. I understand it. I'm a neat freak when it comes out on my road, my house, and my yard, but we've got to keep the water off the roads, and you got to clip those shoulders down to do that. So,
well, Judge, we are out of time today. I know you want to say thanks to the sponsor.
Time flies by, don't it?
Yes, it does. Joe Hill's Power Sports.
Joe Hill's Power Sports. I want to thank them again, and thank you, Roth, for having us on here. And I'll probably have a guest next week and try to talk about some county issues. Thank you for your time.